Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of What the Road Podcast. I'm your host Darnell.
And I'm Brittany.
So guys, make sure you follow us on all those podcast apps out there. Just whatever which one it is, we're definitely on it. So make sure you follow us and give us how many stars?
5 stars, guys. Please give us 5 stars.
Yeah, definitely do that. Make sure you rate us as well. Also check us out on our YouTube channel, What the Road Podcast on YouTube. Make sure you go there. Make sure you like and subscribe to that. We appreciate it. We're definitely trying to grow as a YouTube channel, so make sure you do that.
We're slowly but surely getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We got 16 subscribers.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there.
You can help us grow that number, guys. Please and thank you.
Yeah, definitely do that. And also, if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, you can email us. What is our email?
Podcastwhatthereal@gmail.com.
Yeah, so make sure you guys do that. And so what are we doing today?
Today we're going to do the movie review of Hard Eyes.
Yeah, I did not know this was coming out like a dual like film in the theater and streaming. I thought it was just going straight to the theaters, but I didn't. So we should have reviewed this earlier, but I didn't know this was coming out in streaming. It was kind of crazy.
The plus side, at least it was only a month later. It wasn't too much later.
Yeah,
so
it's not too bad.
That's not bad at all, but we got it for you guys.
Yeah. Even they're coming out like a week before Valentine's Day was actually pretty good how they made it out for the coming out on that date, So
yeah,
it's good. So what are your overall thoughts?
Honestly, I wasn't exactly the biggest fan of the movie.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the part, like I thought it was cool, like when they were at the winery and the one lady was like locked the guy out of the locked Hard Eyes out of the thing, and she was locked in there, and they squished her and they showed all that blood and gore and stuff like that. And the guy was very technical with his things, but I feel like he was just too precise with everything. Like I would have liked if he did some missing. Like obviously for the main characters they miss, but it was just like it was nothing special about the movie. I just felt like it was like your typical movie. You know what I mean? Like your typical serial killer.
Yeah. It's funny because I actually liked it. Like I thought it was good. I didn't think it was like the best movie out there, but I think what made this movie good was the fact that it wasn't playing it serious. Like they did not take this movie serious at all. They made fun of everything.
That is true, yeah.
It was a lot of comedy and a lot of them just making fun of the situations. I think they did really well with the comedy. I think if they took this movie as a serious horror movie, horror slasher movie, it would not work.
Maybe that's why I didn't like it so much.
Yeah, because like you probably came in thinking, all right, this is a serious movie.
Yeah.
But as soon as the movie started up, I can tell they're going like, funny comedy, with it. So I was like, okay, this is what they're doing with it. So yeah, I think if they made this movie as a serious thing, it would not work. I really enjoy the comedy in this. I thought they did it well. Like a lot of the moments, a lot of the just comic timing and all that stuff. I think they did a really good job with it.
Yeah, I like the ambulance driver. She's like, I got another call. I'm just gonna take this and take this from you.
Just left her like, oh no. Yeah, there was a lot of good comedy. Like the one where it's like they're first getting chased by Hard Eyes, and then like he disappears, and he goes like, "Wait, did you hear that?" And then all of a sudden he just pops up out of nowhere. They're just kind of making fun of the genre a little bit, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I thought it was good. I thought like it kind of reminded me of like those trying to make fun of those early like 2000 slasher movies.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I was kind of.
It did have good comedy in it. I will give it that. That made up for what I thought of the movie not being so good.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I just felt like it was normal. Like, and then I didn't like it would have been funny like if they made like his accuracy not so spot on. Like everything was just so spot on.
Yeah. Yeah. I see that. Like he was just a great killer. Like, yeah.
And then to top it all off, there was 3 of them.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the chances of all 3 of them being a great shot versus one of them?
Yeah. I would say the one, it was just the detective. She should be the good shot. But the rest was like a tech guy and just some random dude that liked them or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, but yeah.
Like I said, I think it was like I think that made it better than what it was, the comedy, and they didn't take itself seriously. So I think it was pretty much that. Made it better than it was. I think also the trailer kind of made it serious. Like they made it like, oh my god, this is the next big killer, all that. And I think if the trailer made show that hey, this is a comedy horror, then I think it would have done better. Probably. I don't think many people seen this,
Yeah.
but
I didn't think from the trailer, I didn't think it looked good
yeah,
when I saw the
same.
trailers.
Yeah, same. I thought it'd just be run of mill, like just you know horror movie that just some weird killer horror movie.
Yeah. I did
Just a
like
gimmick movie.
the night vision goggles, how he had that and
Yeah.
his eyes lit up with that. That was pretty cool.
I'd say this. That would be a good Halloween costume. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that would be a good Halloween costume.
I might have to do that one. We'll see. Yeah. So let's go ahead and break it down.
Okay. Did you want to start it off or should I start it off?
Yeah. It's whatever. I'll start off.
All right.
It starts off with they showing like two people. They're like in this field, and there's like nice little setup. I forgot what a little arch.
Yeah, like
and
an
like,
arch.
Yeah. And they're on a date, and and they're talking, and then he it's super cheesy. They have the cheesy music and all that stuff. So I was like, oh, I was thinking, like, am I watching the right movie? And then he gives the guy gives the girl some like, was it like strawberries or whatever?
Strawberry, yeah.
And then it was she was biting into. I was like, oh, what's going on? And then she showed it was a ring, and she was like, I told you not to put that in my food.
Yeah.
So there, just right away, it gives you a strong comment at you, like right away.
Yeah. And he just grabs it out of her hand.
Yeah.
I was like, ew.
Yeah. And you hear it goes quick, quick, quick. And then he proposes, and then she was like, yeah. She was like, yes. And they're like, oh my God, this is the picture perfect moment, literally. And then you hear his phone goes off, and I forgot what song it was, but
it was a Magic Mike song, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. The
do 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 do.
I forgot. Is it an R. Kelly song? It might be R. Kelly.
I don't know,
song.
but it's the song. It's the song from Magic Mike that everyone associates with it.
Oh no, it's Genuine riding the pony, ride that pony or something like that. I think it's Genuine. So it's a photographer that's calling, or he called and said, hey, I didn't get the shot. So you see this guy in the wood trying to take the picture of them as he proposes and stuff like that. And he was like, oh man, you didn't get the shot. And he was pretty pissed. And he's telling him, like, hey, you got to do it again. And he sit there and proposed it again. And then she still was okay with it. But then I think they caught that's when the guy was trying to take the picture. And then you see Hard Eyes.
Yeah, Hard Eyes stabs him like right through the camera. And it goes right into his face, and he's dead.
Yeah.
And then they get a phone call, and he shoots an arrow in the guy's forehead.
Yeah.
As he turns around, and the girl turns around, and she's like, "Oh my God, what happened?" And she runs for her life and stuff like that. She's running through the field, and she falls. And her phone goes off, and she's like, you're messing with the wrong girl and stuff like that. You killed the guy that I love, that I worked to build my life up with. And he shot her in the foot, and she still goes running off. That's when she goes into the winery, right?
Yeah. She goes walking through a winery. Then she goes inside the building, and then there's like a security guard there. And then you see Hard Eyes walks in and then grabs like a knife. And has a little heart at the end of it, and he just throws it into the security guard, and it hits him in the face and kills him.
Yeah, how come everyone dies so easily? Like I don't get it. Like all these people die so quickly, and then the main characters die so slowly, or they just get injured very little. Like it makes no sense.
I think literally, like I think they're making fun of it, like all that stuff.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Not a fan of that.
Yeah, they're just kind of making almost sort of like how Scary Movie was, because Scary Movie, it was making fun of the genre, like all the slasher.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Scary Movie was good.
Yeah. So yeah, they kill him, and then she decides to hide into this. I didn't know exactly what it was at first, but I was like some container with water in it, and she's
What is
hiding.
it? What was it?
It's a dryer. It I don't know exact. It like it will crush all the grapes, and then all the wine will come out. Like the grape
Oh.
juice will come out. There's like a squisher.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. Because I'm
So because
like,
they're in the winery, so yeah, they put all the grapes in there, and it squeezes all the grapes, and the juice comes out.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
gotcha. I was like, what is she hiding in?
yeah.
First off, I didn't even know they were at the winery. I didn't even pick that up until
And so yeah.
until the middle of the movie.
Yeah, I didn't figure that until when the cops came. That's when I kind of figure out what it was when the detectives went over there. I didn't
Yeah.
realize it was a winery myself.
So she's in the machine. She kicks him out because he was gonna come in, and then she realized that he's messing with the buttons, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, this is my moment. I'm gonna die." So
Mhm.
he turns it on, and the machine's closing in on her. And you know what's crazy? I thought she would have tried to at least go out there, but she didn't even bother trying to get out. Was she locked in?
She was
Or
like, no, no, she did try. She was locked in. She tried to
oh,
get
she
it
was
out.
locked in.
Yeah, yeah, he
Okay,
locked it on her.
okay.
Yeah, and then you see her looking out the window, and then it just closes on her, and then her freaking head explodes.
That was
It was
good.
like
I
there's a
like
lot of
that.
there was a decent amount of gore in this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the head explosion was
yeah,
good.
yeah.
I like that part.
Um, and then let's see.
Then it just jumps to a bunch of news reports
Mhm,
talking about the Hard Eye Killers, saying how people are afraid to celebrate Valentine's Day
mhm.
and stuff like that. So they just show maybe like 15 different news reports,
Yeah,
right?
yep.
They
They're all
showed a
talking
bunch.
about it. So I was very surprised at that because normally in these type of movies, the killer's always you don't know who it is. Like the main like the people don't know what who's killing who is just a killer. But this is the hard eyes killer is the one killing everyone.
Yeah.
You know. And then it shows a girl and two girls talking. One of them is the main character, Allie, and then what's the other girl's name? Monica.
Monica, yeah.
They're talking about her job and the fact that she might be getting fired because she's not doing a good job.
Yep.
Um, and then she about to go grab her some coffee, and like she has some specific order to get her coffee, and then some other guy grabs the coffee, and they both grab at the same time.
Because they ordered the
The
same
same.
exact thing. It was
Yeah.
like some crazy order. Did you write it down or no?
No, I did not.
It was like some crazy order. I don't even know what it was, but it was
Mm.
like 15 different things.
Yeah.
And they ordered it, and he's like, "Oh, this is a popular drink." And he's like, "Are you sure that's not yours?" And then they get it, and they move off to the side because the guy's like, "Everyone orders
Yeah.
that, so move."
Yeah, he's like, it's a
We're
popular
busy.
drink. Now get out of here. Yeah.
And move off to the side,
Yeah.
and they just kept doing things like they kept hitting heads because somebody
Mhm.
dropped something. Someone needed a pack of sugar. They dropped
Yeah.
it, went to go pick it up. He gave her a bloody nose and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
They're just super awkward. They're just bumping heads. Also, they showed that they had the metal straws. They
Yeah, she
both had
bought her.
metal.
Well,
Yeah.
she bought her own straw.
Yeah. Yeah. They both. No, he had one too. They both
Are
had
you
metal
sure? I
straws.
could have sworn he was using a regular straw.
No, he asked her, "Hey, do you want to use this?" She's like, "No, I brought my own. I have my own metal straw."
Oh, I
Yeah.
missed that. Okay,
Yeah.
I misunderstood that.
Um. So then after all the awkwardness, she just runs away. She's like, "Oh, gotta go."
Yeah.
She just left, and then her friend Michael's like, "Why didn't that dude's a hot looking dude? Why didn't get with him?" Um, and then they, I don't know if it was a news broadcast. Oh yeah, it was like a news, I believe, or something like that. And they were
The
saying
killer
the
strikes in
callers
Seattle.
in Seattle. So now the Hard Eyes Killer is in Seattle. Yeah.
Yeah, so they gotta be careful. All Valentine's Day couples have to be careful.
Yeah. And then we're at her job. It's like some jewelry company, and she's showing she's pretty much like a meeting, and they're showing her boss. So I thought the boss was funny. Like she was pretty funny. The
Yeah,
stuff she
she
was saying,
was.
all the stuff she was saying. Um, but so they were showing her campaign, which it was like she was pretty upset because it was like, why you have a campaign about people dying when there's a hard eyes killer around killing people on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And the promo videos was like, it was like about Titanic. They had the girl on the freaking piece of wood in the
Yeah,
water, and then the other one was like Bonnie and Clyde. So
it was funny.
yeah,
It's just I wrote they just had an ad about people dying.
yeah,
I'm just like, oh my gosh, for
yeah. And then the people are posting like comments about it, saying, "Oh, we should dox her" or something like that, or she should die or something like that. All the people posting about it. So it didn't go well.
no.
So the boss was pissed, saying she needs to have a new campaign by I'm not sure how by
I think
when
the campaign. I think he had to do it in that day,
that day,
right?
right? Yeah, I guess so.
Because he
Because
was flying to flying to his
yeah,
buddy's wedding
so the new guy
afterwards.
pop the guy she met pops up and comes to find out that was the guy that they're using, and he's like some really hot shot guy when it comes to doing campaigns for I guess ads. It's
He's a
like ads, right?
freelancer,
Yeah,
yeah. He's a
freelance ad
freelancer.
guy. So they have to work together to get this done.
Yes,
Um,
and it's the guy from the coffee
from the
shop,
coffee shop,
Jay
yeah,
Simmons.
yeah,
She
Jay.
finds out it's from him, and she's like, "Oh, he's pretty much gonna take my job and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that."
Yeah, but and it's funny because he said he's leaving, so why would he?
Yeah,
Why would she think he's gonna take her job?
don't know, don't know.
So
Then it jumps to the
oh, the
cops
two
at the
detectives.
crime scene,
Yeah.
and they find a wedding band there with the
Mm.
initials of JS in it.
Yes.
And then
They says shoot they were talking about how that these kills are not just like a regular murder. It's like the killer has a fetish for doing this. Like he has a kink.
yeah.
Yeah. And then they're looking where the detectives were looking where that girl was killed, and then they actually look on the floor. There's a heart, a ripped out real heart on the floor with flowers that made a
Yep.
heart shape. I thought that was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
God had a lot of time to do that, to set that up. But I
A
guess
little
if you
too
had
much
three people,
time.
it wouldn't be too bad.
No, not at all.
Um,
That's how they were able to capture people so easily because
Yeah.
there's so many people.
yeah. And then they show that they knew it was Hard Eyes because the photographer actually took a picture of him right before he was killed.
Yeah, that's the only evidence they have. So they
Yeah.
knew it was him.
Yeah. And then it goes back to Allie, and she has to. Oh, she was talking to the dude Jay, and he was saying, "Hey, let's go to dinner, to talk about the campaign and all that
Yes.
stuff." And she was not, she was not feeling it. Like,
She was not up for it.
Yeah.
She's like, this isn't a date. I
Yeah.
don't want to do this. It's Valentine's Day and stuff like that. But she does it. She goes there at 8 o'clock sharp.
yeah. Oh, right before that though.
She has to come up with a campaign. She's
Yeah.
talking to her boss, and
Mm.
she has to come up with a new campaign. And if she doesn't, her boss said she will have her blacklisted. But she joked and said she'll have her killed. She's like, "Oh, I'll have you killed."
Yeah.
And then she's like, "I won't, but I could,
Yeah.
but I won't."
Yeah. I thought the boss was funny. I have to see who's that actress. She looks familiar though.
Yeah, she does look.
She kind of looks like, I know it's not her, but she kind of reminds me of the girl from Friends. Is it Friends? No, not Friends. Seinfeld.
I don't like Seinfeld. So
She
I don't
kind of
really know
reminds
the
me of the girl
characters.
from there, but I don't think that's her. But that's who she reminds me of.
Okay.
Yeah. So they go on like a shopping montage for her to get find something to wear.
Yeah, they try on like
Yeah.
15 different dresses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're having fun. And then they go to the restaurant
Mhm.
and they put a metal detector on you because of hard eyes.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, sorry, this is because of hard eyes." And she sits down at the table, and the guy's like, "Oh, will you be dining here with someone else?" And she's like, "Yes, I will, just a friend." And he's like, "Okay, I'll wait till your date gets here." And she's like, "That's not my date."
Yeah.
And then he shows up, and then she's like, "Oh, googly eyes." Oh.
Yeah, she's looking at. He's walking in slow motion and stuff. Like,
Yeah, she's getting metal detected and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
So they're sitting there, and he's like, "Oh yeah, let's order champagne and all this stuff." And she was like, let's just get on to the campaign. Let's talk about this. And he sits there and kind of ignoring it and like just asking about herself and
Yeah.
stuff like that. He wants to get to know her about her. And he was like kind of getting on her about like her past relationship and stuff like
Yep.
that. And she's getting pretty pissed because we find out her and her boyfriend broke up because she's been like staring at her phone, looking at his Instagram and stuff like that
Yeah.
with picture with another girl. And then she gets pissed off at Jay, and then I forget exactly what she says. Like, you know, pretty much mind your business. Why you don't know me like that?
Yeah.
Pretty much saying stuff like that. And then she walks off. Oh no.
No, she
He
asks him
yeah
why he's single.
yeah. Then he kind of was like, you know what, my bad. You know what, you need to calm down. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave.
This was a bad
Yeah.
idea. So he gets up and walks out, and she follows him and says, "I'm sorry."
Mm,
But when they get outside the restaurant,
mm,
her ex is there. So
mm.
she kisses him,
Yeah.
kisses Jay.
I think she kissed him before she even seen him. I think that was like a legit kiss. She says that she kissed him because of the ex-boyfriend, but I don't think she's seen him. I think she kissed him first, and then after she got done kissing, then she's seen the ex-boyfriend. I
Oh.
believe so, but yeah,
I feel like I need to watch that scene over again.
yeah,
Now.
I believe that's what it was. I have yeah, it's a little bit more fresher in my mind because I literally just watched it. Um,
Yeah, so the ex shows up and they kiss, and she's like, "Oh, this is my boyfriend," blah blah
mm,
blah. And they're like, "Yeah, we had dinner reservations for 4, but the people at the winery who got killed,
yeah,
those were our friends, and they were gonna go with us." And they're like, "Wow, you still kept your dinner reservation?"
yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, we did.
It's like, oh wow, yeah,
It must
that's
go on."
just a little. I like the comedy in this. They were like making fun of him, like, oh, you're still going to your dinner reservation? Wow, okay.
Yeah,
um, so they go off, and then oh, they were like, oh, well, who is this? He was like, oh, I'm her boyfriend and stuff like that.
yeah.
But they go into a cab and they leave. She gets dropped off at her house, and she loses her keys. She doesn't have her keys on her.
Well,
Uh,
before that,
was there
the
before?
driver was saying that love is
Oh,
a beautiful thing.
yeah.
And they're like, "No, this isn't love. We just met. That was
Mm,
just a ploy to make her ex jealous and stuff
yeah,
like that." And then they say they're not dating. It was all an act. And then they get dropped off.
yeah,
And before he leaves, he realized she got locked outside her house. So he's like, "Just hold the cab, keep the tab running. I'm gonna go run inside and help her." She's
mm.
like, "I'm gonna punch the window." She goes to do it. And he's like, "Are you sure you want to do that?"
It's-
And she's like, "No, I don't." And he does it. And he's like, "You see, I came prepared," and pulled out a
yeah.
handkerchief.
He's like, yeah, you gotta do it this way, and
Yeah.
then he does it. It's like, oh, I believe.
All bleeding. He cut his hand. She
Yeah,
brought him inside. She sends him in the bathroom. And she's like straightening up in her house a little bit as
mm,
he's doing that.
yeah,
And she's like, "Oh, let me find the first aid kit." And she's like, "Oh, you like to dress up as Pikachu, huh?"
yeah.
Being all nosy, looking around her house. And she's
Mm.
like, "Oh, that's when I was little," and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
he was like, yeah, I used to do that. I used to dress for Pikachu for Halloween. She was like, yeah, that's not for Halloween. That's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, go ahead and sit down. And then he looks on the couch, and just her couch is just filled with clothes. And then
He's like, "I don't want to sit on your clean clothes."
yeah, so he's sitting on her bed, and so he goes. She goes with the first aid kit, and she starts tending to him and stuff like that. He was like, oh, you're pretty good. And she's like, oh yeah, I used to be in med school, but I left because just I couldn't do it. Plus, I'm not big on blood. I can't do blood.
Yeah.
So while they're talking, she noticed that her vibrator was just on the nightstand. She's
Oh,
like,
yeah, I forgot about that.
so she's like, they're talking, having like a serious conversation, stuff like that, and she's looking at the vibrator. She's like, okay, and then she gets up and like grabs it and puts it behind her back, and then she starts walking into the closet, and she opens the closet.
It throws it in
Yeah,
there, and it hits hard eyes right in the face.
yeah. Oh, it's just
And And then
hilarious.
she's like, "Oh my god!" And then Hard
Yeah.
Eyes comes out,
Yeah.
and of course he misses them when
Yeah.
he's going at it because they're the main characters. You
Yeah.
can't kill them off right away.
Yeah.
But they're running outside. They're running outside the house, and they're about to go into the car, and the driver gets killed
Mm.
inside the car, and they run into like what was it like an alley? Was it an alley they ran into where she left him at?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were like, yeah, it was some like side of a building or something like that. Yeah. They were
Yeah,
fighting and like he hit his head and he was kind of like woozy and stuff like that.
yeah. So she just left him on the
She's
ground and
yeah.
ran away.
Yeah. And then she started getting chased by him. And then so he gets left there. She's getting chased by Hard Eyes, and then for some reason they're like at a carnival or something like that.
Yeah, well, he's like swinging on a swing.
Yeah, so she's hiding from him, and then she hears like this noise. She looks, and he's just sitting on the swing.
Yeah, he's just swinging. I'm like, what is going on here? And all of a sudden he's off it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. And next thing you know, the merry-go-round is
Yeah.
getting turned on where she's hiding,
Mm.
and then there he is. He's
Yeah.
chasing on the merry-go-round. He almost gets her, and then she gets into a fight with him, and she kicks him off the merry-go-round.
Yeah.
And then he runs, and then the cops show up,
Mm-hmm.
and he disappears. And then the cops are like, "Oh, we found Hard Eyes."
Yeah.
And they're like, "We caught him." And Jay's like, "You left me. How dare you? How could you have left me? We were a team," and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, he's sitting in the car, and she's like, "Well, I was getting chased." He's like,
She's
"You
like, "I
left
didn't
me."
leave you."
He's like, you're kind of muscular and stuff like that. I'm not. So he was like, well, I like that compliment, but you still left me.
Yeah. And they're saying Jay is Hard Eyes, but she's
Yeah.
like, "No, you have the wrong guy."
Yeah.
And
They-
then they go to the prison. They're at the jail, and they're investigating the police station. They're investigating him. They're asking him questions, and they show him the wedding band. And they're like, "It says JS," and he's like, "It's like, first off, I'm not married. Second off, why would I put my own initials in my own wedding band? That's
Yeah.
just crazy," and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And the cop gets all ticked off. Hobbs, he's like, "Ugh!" And she's
Yeah.
like, Go take a break. Go
Yeah.
take a break."
That's what we find out. The detectives' names are Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
He's like, "That's your guy's name, Hobbs and Shaw?" It's like from the movie. He was like, we never see that movie.
Yeah, we never heard of
I
it.
never heard of it. I thought that was just funny.
Yeah. Oh, I lost my spot.
So he leaves. The one detective leaves. Hobbs, I believe.
Yeah.
And then
Hobbs.
she's in there, and then we come to find out she's like been trying to get on a date, like she's trying to find a man and stuff like that.
Yep.
So like she's talking to him and kind of like flirting with him a little bit.
She like unbuttons her shirt and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
But she was saying like, hey, you were at this city at this point, and this city at this point, and this is when they're killing is at at the same time. So there's a good possibility you could be Hard Eyes. And I actually thought he could have been Hard Eyes like early in the movie. I was like, oh, there's a possibility he could be Hard Eyes.
Yeah.
But not the case. But it definitely they put that out there though.
They definitely did put that
Yeah.
out there. Yeah.
So we see Allie, she's in the like in the lobby, I guess. And she's talking to the one cop, and she's like, "Oh, why is it so empty in here?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, because we captured Hard Eyes, so I guess they're all the cops are over, celebrating somewhere."
Yeah. I like how she's like, "What's a 5-letter word for a dog?" She's like, "Bitch," and she's like, "Excuse me."
Yeah, so she was like, so since she gave her the help on the crossword puzzle, she was gonna go and talk to Shaw and let her know that she's out here waiting for her. And that's where we get the HWW line.
Oh,
As
yeah.
you-
We've been HWW. What's that? Hysterical white woman. And Allie hears something, so she's walking towards this door, and she has an American flag,
Mm.
and the cops come out, and she's like, "God bless America."
Yeah.
And she's like, "You see, I told you."
And then
And then the power goes out.
Yeah.
And Shaw's like, "Oh, it's probably just the breaker." So she goes, she disappears.
Yep.
And then the one the one cop, the officer is like, "Oh, I'm just getting a flashlight," and she's like, he hides in closets.
Yeah.
Be careful, be careful." And she's like, "You see, there's nothing here." And then, bam, he appears and
Yeah.
kills her.
And listen to me. He stabs her with that flag and picks her up with it. You got to be really, you don't understand how strong you have to be to do that.
I can only imagine.
And then throw her. And for that flag not to break. But I think that's the whole point. They try to make him like superhero, super strength to other people except for the main characters, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, you know what? I just realized we skipped a part.
what part?
There was when she was first in the police station, before she did the crossword.
The tech guy.
The tech guy. He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's all fixed now,"
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, did I meet you on a dating app?" And she's
Yeah.
like, "No, I don't do that." And he's like, "Me neither." And he's like, "Oh, shot in the dark. Would you like to go out with me and I'll buy you a coffee?" And she's like, I almost just got murdered tonight,
Yeah.
so I don't think so. And he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, okay. Have a safe night."
Yeah.
And walks out.
Yeah. I thought that was. I was wondering, like, why is that? That's kind of random,
Yeah, and then you find out why.
You find out why. But
I was like, yeah, I thought that was a little weird that they did that.
Yeah. So she Hard Eyes kills the cop, and then we see Allie, she turns the flashlight off, and then that's when we see the night vision of Hard Eyes got the night vision goggles, which are really cool. And I think I might be him for this Halloween. But they light up really cool. But then I believe she just tackled him or something like that.
She took a barrel or something
and
and smashed him with it.
Yeah. And then so she runs away, and then she runs into the Shaw.
Yep.
And then she's telling her what happens, and then we see Hard Eyes and Shaw kind of go at it, I guess. But it was off camera.
You see nothing. You just hear the gunshots.
Hear gunshots. So you figure, all right, well, I guess she's dead,
Since you don't see her anymore.
Exactly. And then we see the Hobbs, and he's with Jay, and he's like, he hears the gunshot, and she's like, all right, let me go. And then, Jay's like, no, let me go first. And he was like, no, you just stay right there.
Yeah, you stay right there. Don't you move. Don't you move, mister.
Yeah. So then, this is so crazy. So he goes in the hallway, and then he turns the corner, and then he sees Hard Eyes, and Hard Eyes just stabs him right in the freaking crotch. Like,
yep.
Oh, that's so bad. And they kind of show it like the slit,
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bad one. And then he gets slashed in the face, and now he's dead.
Yeah. And then Allie finds Jay. She's in the room behind the mirror, and she's like, "Oh, can you hear me, Jay? Can you hear me?" And Jay's like, "Oh, I hear you, Allie. Do you hear me?"
Yeah.
And Hard Eyes walks into the room, and he's throws a case. Did he throw a case file down, or did he just put his knife on there?
He put his knife on there. I think the case file was already there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he just put his knife down.
So he's dragging his knife on the table, and then he's going around trying to cut him.
Yeah.
And then Allie goes ahead and shoots the mirror down.
Yeah.
And just misses.
Every shot. She hit 2 shots, the whole glass breaks, and then she pulls the gun, like you're pointing at him, and then every shot, it was just around him.
Yeah, around him. He's like, "You are a horrible shot."
Literally missed every shot. She shot a good 7 or 8 times too.
It was like 10. It was like 10 bullets in there.
Oh. And then right after that, she tries to jump from the room to the other room and falls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they leave the police station and they fall on the ground, and she tries to stop a car, and Jay's like jumps in and pushes her to the side, and he's like, "You saved me." and he's like, "Well, you saved me." And they're about to kiss and then Hard Eyes showed up, and then they're running, and then they go to a drive-in movie theater, and they're like, "Is this right that we're bringing him to an all-you-can-eat buffet?" Or something like that?
Yeah, pretty much. Also, I forgot one part though. I forgot a part. Back when they first got attacked from Hard Eyes, they were like, "We're not even together. Like, why are you even after us?"
Oh yeah.
And she said it again too when they're laying down. She's like, "We're not together."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
But yeah, there she was like, yeah, this is like the worst spot because there's a whole bunch of they had a drive-in and there's just a whole bunch of couples there.
Yeah.
So they're running, trying to hide from Hard Eyes, and then Hard Eyes he's just walking up in there like it was no big deal. And then you see all the people's like, is that really him? And then one goes, yo, that costume is really good, yo. And
He
then
just stabs him.
yeah, and then he just stabs some guy. And then so they're running from it, and they find this van, they hop into this van,
Oh boy.
and then there's two people at the back. And
They were doing nasty things.
I thought this was so hilarious because they're sitting there talking, they're like kind of working things out between them two, and they're having such a serious conversation.
And
But then
this,
you just hear them having sex in the
I
background the whole
know.
time.
I'm like, oh my god.
I thought it was just so funny. Like, and then towards the end, it just gets louder and louder and louder.
I know, and you're like, you're really going. They're like,
Yeah.
you need to be quiet back there.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, Hard Eyes opens the door, and he takes what was that?
It was
What?
a tire iron.
Tire iron. That's
Yeah.
what it's called. A tire iron, and stabs it right through the guy's mouth
Yeah.
and smashes him down on it. And then he takes the lady and smashes her face down
Straight
on it.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah, and kills them both. And they leave, and then panic breaks out,
Mhm.
and Hard Eyes is just killing a bunch
Just
of people as he's
killing.
walking
Yeah.
by.
And I'm like, through that whole time, I'm like, where the hell is the police? Like, he was just killing everyone. Like, just people were just running away, and he killed at least like, I don't know, like 10 people just from
Yeah, good solid
like a
people.
good amount of people.
Yeah, and then Allie and Jay, they were going to leave the drive-in movie theater, but Allie's like, no, we can't go. If we leave, more people are going to die, and
Yeah.
it's just going to come back next year. So they stay.
Yeah. And then they're
And-
like, yeah, we'll do this together.
Yep.
And they hold hands and they're walking in like slow motion to like love music and stuff like that while they're walking.
I know. The music was so cheesy. I was like, I literally said out loud, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah. But I believe but it's all on purpose though. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to be cheesy in those
I
scenes.
know.
But yeah, they're like walking in slow motion while everyone's like running away. And then they're like, all right, we gotta take them out, but we need a weapon.
Yeah.
So you see them they grab both of their hands together to grab the tire iron and stuff like that out of the dude's mouth. And then that's when Hard Eyes pops up, and they start fighting him.
Yep. They get his attention,
Yeah,
and they pretty much get beaten up by Hard Eyes,
yeah,
and then they end up killing Hard Eyes.
yeah. Pretty much right when Jay gets beat up pretty bad, and he's about to get killed by Hard Eyes, and then that's when Allie, she hits him over the head with some kind of metal thing, and then you see him starts bleeding from his eyes.
Yeah.
And then, but he was still alive, and then that's when Jay stabbed him with the knife,
Yep.
and then all the blood just goes right into her face.
And she's like, you got it in my mouth. You got it in my mouth. I think I'm going to puke. And he's like, no, please don't. And then she puked all over him.
Yeah, all over the Hard Eyes and stuff like that. I thought it was hilarious. Like,
I'm like, oh.
oh, she puked a lot too, all over him.
Yeah, it was nasty.
Yeah. And then they pull his mask off. I thought it was kind of funny too. They pull his mask off and like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah,
Like,
who is
yeah,
this?
it's just a random dude. Like, who the hell is this? And I'm like, wait, what? There's got to be more to this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the cops finally show up,
Mhm.
and
We find the detective. She's still alive.
yeah, we
Yeah.
find out the detective's still alive. So she offers to take Jay to the airport,
Mhm.
which you find out he doesn't go to the airport, but
Yeah.
you'll find that out in a little bit. And then the ambulance driver's like, okay, I got another call. And she's like, let me take the blankets from you, and takes them from her. She's like, I need this one and this one.
Yeah.
And just hops in and leaves her.
And
And then you
leaves her.
hear someone go, I can give you a ride.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you need a ride?
This movie was more of a comedy than a horror movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
I think that's what.
I would rate this higher for comedy than I would horror.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that's what helped this movie because I was saying if they took this movie seriously, it wouldn't be as good.
Yeah.
But I think they did a really good job with the comedy and just making fun of the genre as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Also, like even the part where he's in the police car and like she's trying to tell them that he didn't do it, and then you hear him in the background like yo, like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's like really like he like it's just I thought they did a really good job with the comedy, like 90% of it.
Then we jump to Allie's home. She's just sitting there watching TV, and then her friend calls, and
Mm-hmm.
they're talking on the phone, and she's like, "I don't know how I could have let him go. I miss him." And she's
Mm-hmm.
like, "Girl, you got to go after him and stuff like that. Go get
Yeah,
him back. Love doesn't last. Love doesn't come like that all the time." And
yeah.
then she goes to go find him, and she's like, "Jay, I found you." And it's just some random
Some
guy,
random
and
dude.
he's just giving a look like, "Who the hell are
Right.
you?
I thought
And
that
what
was
are you doing?"
I thought that was pretty funny. That kind of reminded me of something off of like you ever seen the movie Airplane?
Yeah.
That kind of reminded me of something that you see off of Airplane, like
Yeah, right?
it's just like the dude, it was just some other dude. It's like, huh?
And then Hard Eyes end up calling her
Mm,
and said they took Jay. And they're like, "Meet here, call no cops, call
mm,
no one, or else he dies."
yeah.
So she goes there, and you find out who Hard Eyes is. And they're like, "Oh, that was Eli." And they're like, "Who's Eli?" And it was like, "Oh, is this some fan obsessed guy
Yeah.
who's having threesome with or whatever, something like that." And then you find out Hard Eyes is David, the IT guy.
Yeah.
That random part that they threw in where they wanted to take her out for coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And then you find out the third uh, Hard Eyes is Shaw.
Shaw, yep. And come to find out that Shaw and the tech guy, they met online and they became really good, you know, started loving each other and decided to get married. And when it came back to when they were talking about that with the other cop, but they're saying everyone has their fetish, everyone has their kink,
Yep.
and they both have that kink to kill people.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what brought them to do
Together.
this. Yeah, to
Yeah.
do this.
And then she was saying, um, "We're gonna see if this is love or not. There's a
Mm,
gun over there with one bullet in it. You can either kill yourself or
mm,
you can kill Jay.
mm-hmm.
And you can either kill Jay to show you don't love him, or you kill yourself to show that you love him." And then she goes to pull it up. She holds it to her head,
Mm,
and you really think she's gonna shoot herself.
yeah,
The next thing you know, she turns the gun on Jay. She shoots Jay through, where was it? The
just like
shoulder.
a shoulder. Yeah,
The shoulder, and it goes right into Shaw's stomach.
yeah.
And they run, and Shaw and what was the other guy's name? David go
Yeah.
after them, and they're pretty much like beating them up. Like,
Yeah, they're like split, so they're those two are fighting. Like each two are fighting each other. For someone who got shot in the stomach, she took that pretty well. I thought she was done after she got shot in the
at
stomach.
first, it seemed like she
Yeah,
was done,
yeah,
and then she was beating the crap out of Allie.
yeah. So I was like, all right. So yeah, they're fighting each other, and then so yeah, they're fighting each other, and then we see was it David? He pulls Jay up to look at what what Shaw is doing in the alley, and then
Jay took
Jay, yeah, he
like an
took the
arrow
arrow.
out of David's boot or something, like pocket or whatever it
Mm.
was, and he pretty much shoots him with it.
It's like
That's,
the arrow like extended. If you hit the
yeah,
arrow extends,
you push
yeah,
a button and extend it, and it went right through him.
right through his face, like sideways through
Yeah,
his
like
face.
went through like his eye and nose, something
Yeah.
like that.
So he's going crazy. He falls over the all the candles, and a whole bunch of candle wax falls on him.
Yeah, he's
Oof.
being burnt and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
So she gets pissed and she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill both of you guys." And then she pretty much starts beating them up even more. And then right when she's about to kill
Allie.
Allie stabs her with the metal straw
Yep.
right in her neck. And then we see her pretty much grabs her and slams her all the way into that statue she was
Yeah.
talking about. And where she had a sword, and then it went through her neck.
Yep.
This is crazy. I thought they did a really good job with this one. So pretty much she's like up in the air with that thing, the sword in her neck, and it's just slowly like her body from the gravity is slowly like ripping her head off from her body.
Yeah, I saw that. I was
Yeah.
like, dang.
Like you can see all her neck meat just slowly rip.
She got decapitated.
This is crazy. So they kill her, and then they come together, and then the tech guy, he's still alive.
Yeah, he's
He's
like crawling over.
crawling.
He's like, "Rawr!"
So they shoot him in the head with the arrow,
Yeah.
and now he's dead. And then from there, they show 1 year later,
Yes.
and then they're at that the board meeting or whatever at work, and they're showing that they've been killing it. Her Allie and Jay have been doing so good. They made them so much money
Yep.
for the company, and now that she's done, her contract was up or whatever, and then we find out she's going back to school, be in medical school, because I noticed when she killed the Shaw, she didn't puke.
It seemed like
Yeah.
she got over her
Yeah.
fear of blood
Yeah,
or whatever it
because
was.
the blood was all over her, and she was just
She
washing
was
her.
nastily
Yeah.
covered in it too.
Yeah.
It was gross.
And then we see them at a drive-in, and they're talking like, "Hey, you think it's okay for us to be at the same drive-in where all these people got killed?"
Yeah.
She was like, "Yeah, it's all right. We're okay." And then I thought this was pretty funny. Jay asks her, pulls out a ring case, whatever, and asks her to move in his little key inside.
Yeah. And she's like, I don't want the key. I want you.
Yeah.
And then she pulls out a box and was like, "Will you marry me?" And he's like, "Yes."
Yeah. Did you see the mid-credit roll? I don't know if you
No,
see
I
that.
didn't.
Okay, so I was like writing my thoughts of the movie while I was running, and then all of a sudden it popped out. I was like, "Oh shit, there's more." So right after she proposes, right, she gets a phone call,
Yeah.
and then she answers the phone, and it's Hard Eyes, and she's like, "Holy crap!" And then it was Monica playing a prank on her, and she was like, "Okay, well, I got the shot," and they just show her with the camera, saying, "Oh, I got the shot." She was recording them as she proposed.
"Oh, okay."
And then it ended.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, well, I guess I'll give my rating first.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it 3 stars. I think the comedy holds up. I think the comedy really holds this movie. Makes fun a lot of stuff. Makes fun of like things going on today. Makes fun of all the early slasher movies from the early 2000s. I think the comedy does really good. It's just pretty funny, like all throughout the movie. I think all the comedy hits for the most part. And it was good. It made fun of horror movies. Like if you're a big fan of like Scream and like I Know What You Did Last Summer and all that stuff, I think you will like this. And I think if they played this movie 100% seriously, it would not work. It would just be a dumb gimmick movie. But I think they did well with this.
See, I would rate it like 2.25.
Okay.
0.25. I liked it better as a comedy than horror.
Mm.
I was going in expecting it to be a horror movie, so I think that's why I was so turned off by it. To be truthful, the comedy was good. I will give them that, but the horror I was not exactly the biggest fan of.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No, that's true. Like I said, I think they should have pushed this when the trailers came out and stuff. They should have pushed it more as a comedy / horror, that they're making fun of the genre and stuff like that. They should have pushed that more.
Yeah,
And I think more
definitely.
people would have liked it better and want to go see it. But yeah, so that is Hard Eyes, guys. Let us know your thoughts of Hard Eyes. Did you like it? Did you not? Let us know. Are you going to dress up as Hard Eyes for Halloween? I think
Yeah,
I
we want to
will.
hear from you.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that.
And if you get a costume, send us photos of them.
Yeah.
We're curious to know what they look like because everyone's is going to be different. I mean, some's going to be the same, but some's
Yeah.
going to be different. Some might be homemade and might be amazing. I'm curious to know.
Yeah, I wonder if would you buy it? You probably just have to buy the mask. Well, that's if they make the mask. You might have to make it yourself. It's not. It don't seem like it would be too hard to make though.
Yeah.
But definitely you gotta have the glowing eyes.
Yeah.
Whatever way you get it, make sure the eyes are glowing red.
Yeah.
But
Glowing
that
eyes
wouldn't
is
be
sick.
too hard. Get some LED lights and call it a day.
Yeah, right?
But yeah, guys, thank you for listening, and make sure you follow. Make sure you rate. How many stars?
5 stars, guys.
Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you email us. What's our email?
Podcastwhatthereal@gmail.com.
Yeah, so do all that, guys, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace out.
Bye.